And unfortunately,
Oy.
we're going to talk about some bad news now. First bit of bad news, Jake, you don't even know about this because it came across the transom within the last couple hours of this
Oh,
recording.
oh boy.
Um, Efka Bladokas from No Pun Included, we love Efka, brought to our attention a deleted post that was made by Daniele Tascini. Daniele Tascini is the designer, one of the designers of Zolkin, Teotihuacan, Voyages of Marco Polo, some of our Tekhenu, some of our very favorite games. He's one of that Italian gaming collective, and
Yeah.
posted something that is I don't
I'm
know.
cringing already. I haven't even heard it yet, and I'm
Yeah,
already
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
nervous.
Oh, I will. So the argument he was having online with somebody was about a fantasy themed game, and it seems
Hmm.
like we don't have the other part of it, but it seems like the other person was saying, "Why are the orcs black? Why are the orcs? You know what I mean? Why are those the bad guys?" And
Hmm.
so on and so forth. And the Google translation, which is never perfect, so you're never sure. You can be missing a lot of context and things like that. Um,
Oh no.
but he definitely is sort of going there and saying that gosh, I don't even want to get into what exactly he said, but it doesn't it sounds
It's of a
very
derogatory nature, perhaps.
he talks about calling his darker complected friends the N-word.
No, come on.
Yes, it appears so. Now, listen, maybe it's different in Italian. I don't know. I can't say that, but it's not good. He's
Oh,
saying how
that's not
he'll never call
good.
people black because they're not black, and uh, it's some sort of weird defense of dark and
Oy.
light, meaning good and bad in fantasy games, and it comes off very very bad. So, uh, what else can we say other than there is a darkness in this world, there is a darkness in people in this world, and there's a reckoning that needs to happen, and it needs to happen now. We are aware of the problem, and we are growing more and more aware with it every day. And for all the damage that Twitter and social media is doing, it's also bringing to light the darker aspects of our natures. And I think that can be a good thing if the right things come out of that. So I just hope everybody takes a look into that situation. I know that for me personally, that is going to impact me. That is going to impact my decisions in terms of.
That's interesting you say that because the thing that immediately comes to mind whenever someone who has affected the world in what I like to think of as a positive way creatively is
Mhm.
sort of, let's say, ousted, or that we learn that perhaps personally they're not the nicest person in the world, or perhaps their thinking isn't as correct as we'd like it to be. I immediately think, how will the people who enjoy the good things like the games or the art or the movies or the music, are we going to be able to separate out the product from the producer, or are we damning his creation along with the creator? It's a whole discussion, but it's one that I can't quite find myself on either side of the line on. I go
Mm.
back and forth between thinking, you know, do I ever get to enjoy Michael Jackson's music again? Or can I just have that as its own thing? In a simple sort of quick response, do you have thoughts on that?
I got so many thoughts about it. Listen, for me, I don't. I'm not going to stop playing Zolkin. I'm not going to stop
Okay.
playing Teotihuacan, right?
Okay.
Because I'm not aiding and abetting anybody by doing that. I think those are still amazing games. I think Daniel Tascini is an amazing designer.
Right.
You could be an amazing designer and a horrible human being, right? You can be
Yeah.
like some of the great people of history were horror stories in their personal life and in their views and in their values and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
we do need to separate that out. But at the same time, going forward, do I want to buy a future design by a person whose views I find abhorrent? And
Yeah.
at a certain point, am I supporting them in doing that? And is that cancel culture? I mean, by the definition most people throw around, yes, it is. But at the same point, am I supposed to be forced to buy things from people that I don't like and don't want to be associated with? No.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah, I think you found the crux of it right there. Is can we enjoy what already exists? I don't see why not. But are we going to support moving forward someone that we can't really support moving forward? I think that's well said, Tom. I think I agree with you 100% on that.
And let me just say, I will say this is really early. This is, there was I had a question as to whether or not I should even bring this up but it is proliferating very quickly. I'm not hearing this from one source. I've seen several other sources that are talking about this already. So
Sure.
I figured it was the right time to talk about it. And I'm not going to close the door on anything or anyone. If Danielle wants to argue his case or wants to apologize, I'm certainly going to be open to the possibility of that. But I will say that my threshold for what constitutes a significant apology and a what would you call it? Penance, like a sort of you've made things worse. Now I'm going to make things better. I put a pretty decent bar on that.
Yeah,
I try
as
to
you
teach,
should.
I try to teach my kids that all the time. Like, what is that a real apology? Is that acceptable?
Yeah.
Or
Are you just saying it
exactly
because you think that's the thing to say?
Exactly. And we do believe in my family in making things up. Right? You got to make
Yep.
it up to this person, right? It's not enough
Absolutely.
to simply say, I'm sorry, you hurt that person. You hurt that person in a real and significant way, and it's going to take more than just an apology to fix that. And we got to be, restorative justice is
Absolutely.
what I believe in 100%.
Well, here's hoping that maybe it's not as bad as it sounds, though it sounds pretty bad. And
Yes.
let's see.
Yes.
Let's see. I like your idea of just keeping an open mind, not,
Yeah.
closing a book 100%. But it's hard when you hear something like that. How do you not respond with an instant disgust and like, whoa, okay.
It's bad. It's bad. We have
That's bad.
I've often thought of our hobby as a kinder, gentler place than a lot of the rest of the internet and a lot of other hobbies. When I go to Gen Con, the security people say it's their favorite convention of the year because people are genuinely nicer than most other conventions.
Yeah.
They're not,
Yep.
they're not getting hammered. They're not, there's not all the sexual harassment. There's not that there's none, but that they find there's less sexual harassment. There's less fights. There's less trouble. There's less theft and stealing. This hobby tends to be people that are just better behaved, and like I said, I've heard that from the security people that their jobs can be a real nightmare in a convention sense in a lot of cases.
Sure.
And I've always held on to that. But you look at instances like this, and it causes you to reevaluate and say, "Hey, look, I'm a hetero white male saying that we have a really good hobby. It is not that experience for a lot of other people, and these viewpoints that we don't even hear about all the time are a reason that it's not." And so, I don't say that about our hobby anymore. I talk about our hobby as our hobby has a lot to grow and a lot to change and a lot of things we need to do to be the inclusive place we try to pretend that we are and are not yet.
Absolutely. Just like the real world. Always
Indeed.
room to grow.
Absolutely.
Hey, if you enjoyed that video, you very well might enjoy the other videos you now see being suggested to you on screen. Also, we'd greatly appreciate it if you could like, share, or subscribe to our Game Brain channel. Thanks so much.